My name's John Davies. I'm here at Green Biz Studio with David McConville, chair of the Buckminster Fuller Institute.
Co-chair.
Co-chair.
Yeah.
So, David, yesterday you gave a really great talk to kick off VERGE, and you talked about the future of sustainability, where it needs to go. You want to elaborate on that a little bit?
Sure, and also where it's been. I think that sustainability is sort of a concept we have now, but I think what we really need to be looking into is what do we mean by actually engaging in the ecosystems of the world? How do we not only sort of keep trying to increase efficiencies and reduce emissions, all of which is critically important. Things are happening very, very fast right now. But how do we really flip over into the idea that we can play an active role in regenerating ecosystems and living systems of the planet and start seeing the planet as a whole and thinking about all the ways in which we're not just extractive consumers, but we can actively be cultivating the health of the whole system.
So obviously we bring together a number of business leaders, NGOs, some utilities commissioners. How should they think about this, as an individual? How can they contribute to moving this forward?
I think one of the most important things is to not be too fragmented, because when utilities commissions are looking at utilities or looking at infrastructure, they're generally looking at one particular vector of the system. They're looking at energy, or they might be looking at water. But oftentimes there are all of these sort of invisible aspects of the system that aren't taken into account. They're starting to be, or they have been in the context of ecosystem services and looking at the role that ecosystems can play to actually support human settlement. But oftentimes we're only looking at one aspect of something. So for instance, we'll set a metric to reduce CO2 emissions by as much as possible, but at the same time not paying attention to, well, what's the role of the agricultural sector in the way that it's actually increasing the health of soils to sequester carbon and to retain water. And when you look at the whole system, you can often find extraordinary efficiencies within the system, but you have to bring a lot of different people into the room in order to be asking questions from different perspectives. It's like the old Jane story of the blind man and the elephant, how they're all kind of feeling a different aspect of the elephant. It's a little bit like that right now when we're dealing with all these complex systems. And how can we actually start to expand beyond just very, very specific metrics and start to look at what's the potential for dealing with the whole system?
And what is the potential for people to get involved with the Buckminster Fuller Institute? I mean, what's their role within all of this?
Well, the Institute for the past 10 years has been running a challenge program looking for examples of these types of projects. So that we can demonstrate this, so it's not an abstraction. You can really sort of dig into, well, how are they doing it and what does that look like? And a lot of the work that I've been doing is trying to map this field that's emerging. There are a lot of projects all over the world that are taking more regenerative approaches. We've got a project on our studio's website called spherical.studio that really shows over 100 projects around the world and short form documentaries about them that are demonstrating how this is done.
Okay, how do people find that website again?
It's spherical.studio and BFI is bfi.org.
Tremendous.
Yeah.
So I've been here with Dave McConville, co-chair of the Buckminster Fuller Institute. Thanks a lot, David.
Yeah, appreciate it.